The following is a production of WEGL 91.1 FM.
That ball is gone. It's a walk-off home run for Stephen Williams.
WEGL Sports,
The Tigers are headed to the College World Series.
where every
Touchdown Auburn! Zakoby McClain!
game
They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow!
lives. And welcome into another edition of the Extra Point here on WEGL 91.1 and WEGLFM.com. Hello everybody, Jared Dillard, still from my bunker, and joining me on today's show is Davis Carroll, Alex Houston, and Jack Hart. Davis, we'll start with you. Yeah, shake awake. We gotta go. All right, how you feeling this morning?
Tired.
Tired?
Yeah.
What can I do to wake you up?
I don't know. There's really, unless I get up early, eat some breakfast, get some caffeine, maybe take a shower if I wake up earlier, but I woke up 5 minutes before this, so.
I need you to wake up. So if you need to do some jumping jacks or something, I need you to go ahead and do it while
I'm not doing jumping jacks.
I need you to go ahead and do that while I'm introducing everybody else. Alex, hello from Guantanamo Bay. How are you doing?
It's not. I mean, I'm doing pretty good. Excited to get to this weekend of some more sports, Last weekend, I think I took it a bit for granted, but now realizing that's all back, I mean, every weekend is going to be very, very exciting.
Every weekend is going to be
Sports
exciting.
return.
And Jack, how are you doing this fine morning?
Hey, good morning, Jared. I'm doing well. A little upset that it rained all day yesterday. Looked like it's clearing up a little bit today, so still a bit overcast if I'm going to give you my Hillman weather report, but I have nowhere to be, so not too bad.
Yeah, the Hurricane Sally, I said Sandy yesterday, Hurricane Sally coming through, dropped a lot of rain. It looks like there's not going to be any immediate rain in the forecast. It's going to be cloudy. It may sprinkle here and there. It may have a little bit of a system form, but other than that, it seems that I want to say the worst is past, but you never know these days. I know a lot of flooding happened, though, so hopefully that's good and ready to go. Especially, we don't want to dampen what's going to happen this weekend for college football in the South. On today's show, continue to talk about the Big Ten, their return to Pac-12. They've released a statement. It's the MAC. They're also releasing a statement. They want to play too. Baseball.
Wait, actually?
Yeah, I think the MAC is trying to come back.
Hold up.
I think pretty much everybody. I think even the Mountain West said something. Everybody's trying to come back.
It's the return of the MAC, Alex.
Yeah, here we go.
I mean, I'm ready for some action, but I just didn't think it was actually going to.
MLB baseball, NBA, all NBA selections, and the fall of the Clippers because that whole system is just exploding right now. And then we get an NFL pick'em and college football pick'em later in the show. It's going to be a doozy. So,
Okay, so just time out. I just Googled it. So the Mountain West said they're returning as early as possible, whatever that means for them.
late
And the
October.
MAC said still spring. The MAC is going to hold out and be stubborn for better or for worse. That's what they're going to do. So
Oh yeah, I'll see what happens in a week.
I was about to say after what the Big Ten did at this point, yeah.
So let's go ahead and get into it. The first big news, we'll stay in college football. The Big Ten's coming back. That's all fine and dandy. We talked about that. They're having what looks to be an 8-game season plus one. And that plus one is some sort of cool system where you look at the two sides of the division and one plays 1, 2 plays 2, 3 plays 3, etc. So that seems pretty cool. The Big Ten, doing daily rapid testing. No fans in the stadiums other than family members. So the Big Ten's coming back. That's old news right now. What the big news is now is the Pac-12. I know that yesterday USC players wrote Governor Gavin Newsom of California saying, hey, We want to play football. And then after that, it was I believe that Oregon and USC pretty much was talking to their governors and pretty much found out that as long as their state governors or the state themselves allow them to play football and give them the okay, the go ahead, then they can start getting together and start practicing soon. So that's just a little bit of movement on the Pac-12 front, but not a lot. Uh, kind of saw it coming. It feels like the Pac-10 or the Pac-10. That's old news. It feels like the Pac-12 follows the Big Ten's movements. It feels like sometimes.
Yeah, and
So
I think this one is even more chaotic just because they're trying to save face because, they wrote Newsom, as you said, and then Newsom yesterday was like, there's nothing preventing the Pac-12 from restarting, even though California's official guidelines prevent teams from gathering in groups of more than 12, which, there's 53 people on a roster, so not really sure how that's supposed to work, but I would imagine the Pac-12 is going to have a more difficult time getting back than the Big Ten.
yeah, in an article on ESPN, it's pretty much that I mean they gave them the okay, like you can do this. I'm pretty sure a lot of communications muddied and not one to one, and that's why there's probably a little bit of confusion, as there always is between governments and schools and things like
Sure.
that when dealing with this pandemic. We've seen that, but I mean that is good to hear that hey, we're giving you the okay to do this. Now it's the question of well, okay, you got Oregon and the state of California, and between the Pac-12, that's how many schools? At least five of your
That's
schools.
six.
Six.
The California four and then Oregon and Oregon State.
So there's half your conference right there.
Yeah. I would not be surprised if the six teams there were forced to play their games elsewhere. I don't know where,
Ooh, you
but I
mean
think they'd
like
have to go out of state.
you mean like some sort of bubble in Vegas?
Not necessarily. I mean,
I mean, it'll be hard.
that could
It'll
be
be
it.
hard to play in the Raiders Stadium when the Raiders are playing there every other week. But
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Vegas bubble.
I mean, I don't really, I don't know
I
where they
mean,
would, but it wouldn't surprise me if they had to just basically
I mean,
change where they
I
are
I
and
said
move.
Vegas as a joke, but what UNLV, their old stadium, I assume it's still standing somewhere.
Yeah, it
I
is.
mean,
And then,
you could use that easily.
I mean, if for the Oregon teams, if Boise isn't playing, I know that Boise's a good 3 hour drive away, and that's just a free stadium and a good stadium at that. So, that, of
And
course,
I
that also
And I
depends on
guess
the
that could help out
conference.
the Boise State because maybe those schools pay a little bit of money to play there, or the Pac-12 helps them
Exactly.
out. I know Boise State's bleeding a little bit of money
A
because
lot.
they're not playing right now, and that kind of hurts them. So that wouldn't be a bad idea for Boise State to say, "Hey, we'll lease this out to you for the season. Just give us a little bit of cash so we can scrape by."
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see. I feel like, you know, they've got a lot of decisions to make, but they got to make them quickly because they've only got so much time before they can actually, I mean, Ohio State's already going to be playing from behind essentially and trying to catch up to everybody else's schedule so the SEC and ACC don't leave them behind. So, or Big 12 as well.
So it seems like the consensus, probably between all of us, is that every major conference is going to make a comeback. The Big Ten we know, the Pac-12 is going to eventually, right?
Yeah, I think the negative response to their initial canceling definitely hurt them. And then the fact that, again, all of these schools have not blown up with, within the teams at least. They have not had, massive coronavirus outbreaks on the team and ones they haven't been able to contain. Like Auburn even had one and then they handled it relatively well. So I think that sort of set an example for the rest of them. Again, I don't know what's going on with all the teams across the country because I know Virginia Tech and Virginia kind of just disappeared for a time. But
Their game this weekend is canceled because of a small outbreak. There are a
so
number of games that are canceled this weekend because of a little bit of
really,
outbreaks. Uh, I say a number. I think it's like, excuse me. I think it's like three. I know
wow,
that the first one that popped up on everybody's radar was the Army BYU game. Uh,
that game got canceled.
that game got postponed. I'm using the wrong word. I say canceled, postponed, because of a couple of positive tests. And then Virginia Tech was postponed because of a couple of positive tests. And I want to say one more game. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head who it was. Houston Memphis is postponed, and I think it's because of positive tests as well. But I think they postponed like maybe like 2 weeks ago. Houston Memphis has been postponed. The decision was made a day after Memphis paused football activities because of issues related to COVID-19. So Memphis had to postpone their game because of some COVID outbreaks as well. So that game was also postponed due to the virus. So we are, although we are still playing a lot of games, there are a number of them being postponed because of the virus and outbreaks on teams. So we are starting to see, at least after the first 2 weeks, a couple of I say side effects. I feel like that's downplaying it. We are seeing a couple of ramifications of
Yeah.
some schools not implementing enough features, or maybe they rush back into it too quick, or maybe they got to keep a better eye on these athletes and make sure they're not getting on a party bus, which I forget which school did that, but that's pretty much what happened at one school. All the football players won a football game, got onto a party bus, and everybody, and like a good number of people got infected. So we gotta watch out for that.
Did you see some columnist with the
Don't say USA Today.
yeah, that lady.
Are we going down this road?
We don't have to. We don't have to.
Jack Davis. Well, Jack, I know you know what that's all about. Davis.
About it. I think Hillman's more of an expert on it than me, so I'd rather his 2 cents.
Why is he an expert on it necessarily?
Well, he probably read it for one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least reading the tweet by itself, and I guess we mentioned it, so I guess I have to like bring it up now. Let me see.
Well, I
let me
apologize
find
for
it.
mentioning it then.
No. I just when you said that, I knew where it was going, so
Yeah.
it kind of got me. Uh, Let me see if I can find her original tweet. So I would say there's two tweets that stand out. That she said. So this is Christine Brennan. She is USA Today columnist. Pretty much she's been on CNN, ABC News, PBS, NPR. I mean, she's pretty well known. We have 42,000 followers. I mean, that's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, right? So she put out a tweet, two different tweets with connecting to the same article. In her first tweet, it said, "Rapid test for football players, but not for the elderly in Ann Arbor or Columbus or Evanston, or for the children and teachers in Bloomington or New Brunswick or Minneapolis, or for students paying for the education in East Lansing or Madison or College Park." Obviously, all those Big Ten related. And then probably the tweet that everybody knows about is, and this is, brace yourself because it's coming out of left field. Four of the worst sex abuse scandals in U.S. history: Jerry Sandusky at Penn State, Larry Nassar at Michigan State, Richard Strauss at Ohio State, Robert Anderson at Michigan. All that evil, all on Big Ten campuses, chilling today, is about an awful conference-wide sports decision. This is stemming from the Big Ten deciding to go ahead with the fall football season.
Okay, well, I would say it's important to mention that she tweeted that in response to people who were blowing up her Twitter with saying, "How is this the darkest day in Big Ten history when insert blank?" And Sandusky is the guy they mentioned often because I'm not sure if anybody will ever forget the day that all of that came out of Penn State, and Penn State was about an inch away from the death penalty. So she said that in response, but it was bold. I'll say that. It was bold. That's probably the best word I can use.
It's I mean, I'm looking at the article right now, and this quote pops out. Uh, Pretty much, where do I even begin with this? Then came Wednesday, the darkest day in Big Ten sports history, the day the vaunted conference caved. It choked, it got scared, it became the SEC.
That one hurts. Which,
Damn.
of course, that boils down to the simple bias that there is within both conferences, where the Big Ten has, and most conferences outside of the South have always believed they are just vastly superior in every way, shape, and form to the SEC, one way or another. And that's not what everybody thinks. That's what a select group of people within the conference think. And I think she's one of those people making that, because she made that statement. I mean, the vaunted Big Ten, as if it's some, you know, greater than the rest, holier than thou conference, stooping to the
Uh,
level of the pathetic SEC is basically what.
I will say this. Here's another paragraph. I think that can kind of sum up the the thought of this very well. She said, as proof, one only had to look at the conference's prudent August decision to shut down fall sports in the midst of the global pandemic. It was only natural that the Big Ten would follow the Ivy League and that the Pac-12 would follow the Big Ten. It was a tough decision, heartbreaking, costly, but it was the right one. She continues to say, that's the Big Ten for you, concerned about science, medicine, and safety. Let the football factories of the SEC, Big 12, and ACC, in parentheses, Clemson's playground. So shot at the ACC on that one. I like that, at least. Continue playing. The Big Ten was doing the right thing, looking out for student athletes, treating them almost no differently than the student body at large, and that was all that mattered. So I can't argue with that statement. The Big Ten, I believe, did the right thing, and it's they were looking out for their student athletes as students first, and not athletes or workers second or first. Then I'll never fault anybody for doing that. It looks like she's really I don't use the word upset, but she was really what's the right word for this? She was really in the mindset that the Big Ten was looking out for the safety of the players, but now they're going for, I don't want to say the money, but
I
the
would
money.
say that it is important to look at this issue within the context of everything that happened rather than just look at the issue as blanket as she did. Because, I mean, she didn't take into account, I think, the fact that head coach of Ohio State, the premier of the Big Ten, she talked about the vaunted Big Ten. I mean, Ohio State is the Big Ten. They have run the conference for years. They basically represent the conference every year. I mean, sure, the Big Ten and the Ivy League have the same amount of college football playoff wins since 2016. We won't get into that right now, but I would say that she forgot to mention the fact that Ryan Day basically waged a one-man war against the entire conference and basically called out every member of the conference leadership, which put the conference in a tough spot. I mean, I'm not going to pretend I know what the right decision was, because I don't. Because again, I'm not in charge of a conference, nor do I understand even really close to what it's like. But they were put in a very tough spot when most of their top universities basically said they wanted to play. And now that the players have an option to opt out, the players have an option to retain that year of eligibility to the next year. There's little to really have for the players are being forced into this, because, you know, we've seen schools like the SEC, the school that only thinks about, money is, or whatever she said. We've seen players opt out, and, there hadn't been any ramifications. LSU was not, called out Jamar Chase for opting out, or Georgia calling out the Wake Forest quarterback whose name I'm totally forgetting. What was it?
Amy.
Right. Like, with that option presented, it makes it a bit more complex of an issue than I think she may have presented it as, if that makes any sense.
It makes sense.
I just think it's a bit more complicated. Dave Schluter, you got something to say?
I don't have anything to say.
What are you doing then?
I
I'm
think
sitting here.
I think he wants to steer away from it, which I totally understand.
I don't know. I'm barely listening. I'm still trying to stay awake. That hot chocolate didn't help.
Oh well.
I'll be awake in a minute.
We'll deviate from college football until we get back to pick 'em later on. Let's go over to Major League Baseball right quick. Pretty much the biggest news of yesterday is that the first team clinched a playoff spot officially. It was the LA Dodgers. So go Dodgers go. They're on top of the world right now.
I had totally missed it. You said MLB, and I thought you were talking about like the NFL, and I was like, what on earth? I don't know what was going
I
on, but
need
yeah,
I need everybody to wake up right now.
I'm sorry. I'm
Everybody,
sorry.
just take a shot of something. I don't care what it is. If it's illegal, do it off camera. Just take a shot of something.
That's That's
It didn't work, Jared. I tried. My hot chocolate was to no avail. That's all I got.
You put a little special something in there.
Oh my
Major League
lord.
Baseball, uh, nothing new pretty much coming out of it other than the Dodgers clinching. The races are still pretty much locked in 1-1. Uh, that's pretty much all I have for Major League Baseball. There hasn't been really anything that happened in the last 24 hours other than
It,
that.
Yeah,
re- it,
pretty exciting matchups. You had Baltimore defeating the Braves 5-1. Washington beat Tampa Bay in extras 4-2. Oakland finally gets to play a game in Colorado 3-1. The Dodgers defeat the Padres 7-5 to clinch, like you mentioned. The Cardinals double up on the Milwaukee Brewers 4-2. The Marlins beat the Red Sox 8-4. Cincinnati blanks Pittsburgh 1-0. New York Mets on top of the Phillies 5-4. New York Yankees have another offensive explosion 13-2 over those Blue Jays. Kansas City blanks Detroit 4-0. Minnesota beats Chicago 5-1. Texas over Houston 1-0. And then on the doubleheader, you had St. Louis lose to Milwaukee 6-0. World Series rematch. Chicago beats Cleveland 3-2. Arizona on top of the Angels 9-6. And then your final game last night was the San Francisco Giants beating the Seattle Mariners with a score of 9-3. So races are heating up, and let's talk about another offensive explosion from the Yankees. I think one of the home runs that was hit last night was hit on a pitch with a velocity of 45.3 miles an hour. And it was absolutely launched into the upper deck. So, do the Yankees have their groove back?
Wait, time out. Did you say the pitch went 45 miles per hour?
45 miles an hour.
What,
so did the
he
pitcher
throw
like
a
trip?
Did he throw an ephus pitch or something? Like what happened?
It looks
Did he
like
go
when
underhand?
it looks like when you're playing catch, like with your cousin at like a family function.
Well, I beamed that stuff at him, bro. I don't toss it.
Jared's out here playing baseball with a toddler, just hitting him square in the head every time.
Yeah, I do.
Jared,
I'm
Oh,
ruthless. They gotta learn these streets eventually. And it's gonna be for me.
I'll find a video of it and send it in the Zoom chat right now. You guys can see.
Uh,
I look forward to it because that is. I must say, Jared, I respect you doing the double take because I had to as well. I was not really sure what I had heard because that was.
oh, I knew what I heard. I just need to get confirmation on it again.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was like didn't seem to make much sense.
I just want to say that those Yankees, which I'm gonna text Carter about this later. Those Yankees have won 7 straight now, and they're 3.5 back of those Rays, or they're 3 games back
won
of those
7
Rays.
straight?
They've won 7 straight,
Nice.
and I know home and away records aren't gonna mean much when it comes to postseason, but the fact that the Yankees are 20-7 at home and 8-14 on the road, they're like the Sixers.
I was
of
gonna say they're
base-
putting
of
up those
baseball.
Sixers numbers.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Eric, can you enable the chat?
Can I enable the chat? I didn't know. I didn't know I turned that off.
Come
Well,
on,
it's-
Jared.
Chat disabled. It might be by default.
I have no idea how to enable that.
All right, well, that's okay.
Well,
That's disappointing.
oh,
Oh, Jared, how the Cardinals
there
doing?
you go. I enabled
All
it now.
So
How the
while you
Cardinals
guys
doing? The Cardinals. Every time the Cardinals have a doubleheader, I promise you that they split that doubleheader. They'll never win a doubleheader. They'll never sweep one. They'll always split it. I mean, this team is the definition of average. If they win one day, they're gonna lose the next day for whatever reason it might be. I mean, let's see what their record is. They're 22-23. They're 11-11 at home, 11-12 on the road. They've scored 192 runs, given up 185. They've lost 4 of the last 10. I mean, it's a team that cannot get hot no matter what happens.
That's fair. Also,
I
did you
mean-
watch the video? Because, oh my.
I don't want to watch the video right now. I can't because then everybody else will see the video too. So,
Yeah. That's a good point.
but that's pretty much all I have for Major League Baseball. We can go into the NBA. We can talk about the demise of the Clippers.
First of all, hold
Yeah.
up.
A quick look at your pennant chases. I think it's important to note. Rays still on top of the AL East. Yankees 3 games back. Blue Jays 4.5 games back. So that we could see 3 teams from the AL East getting in. In the Central, your number 1 seeded White Sox right now, 32-17, best record in the American League. The Twins are 2 game back. I think the Indians, the only other team in striking distance there, they are 6 games back with a record of 26-23. And then out west, you have the Oakland Athletics, who, if they can finally get to play a game between their stadium being on fire and their team having COVID-19, they have a 31-19 record, with the Astros a fairly distant 6.5 games back. So the Mariners have a little bit of work to do if they want to make it to the postseason for the first time since 2001. 8.5 games back of the Athletics. In the National League out west, you have, as we mentioned, the first team to clinch. No big surprise there, as the Dodgers have won the NL West, I think, for the past 10 years at this point. 35-15 record are the Dodgers in the Chavez Ravine. Padres and Tatis Jr., the presumptive MVP favorite this season, 32-19 record, 3.5 games back there. The Giants, a distant 10 games back of the Dodgers. So maybe no Giants postseason, but we could see a Giants-Dodgers round 1 matchup if the Giants find their way in the 8th seed. In the Central, you have the Cubs on top, 30-20 record. The Reds, a surprising second-place team, with the Cardinals tied with them. Both of those guys 5.5 games back. And then, of course, we have the local Braves in the NL East, 29-21, with the Marlins surprisingly 2.5 games back, and the Phillies not far behind them, just 4. Championship hangover, perhaps, but the Washington Nationals are 9.5 games out of first place in the East with an abysmal 18-29 record.
Well, wait. So the Giants, when is the Giants like miracle runs usually happen? Are they odd or even years?
I thought it was odd.
They are even years. They were 2010, 2014.
Oh, okay. So 2020. Hey, never count out the Giants. But I guess it does it for MLB news. We can move on to NBA right quick. NBA, all NBA selections, and breaking down what's going down in Game 2 tonight. So all NBA teams, it was, I'm trying to see if I can get it off the top of my head. All NBA teams was LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Luka, James Harden, and Kawhi. Was he the 5th one?
Giannis.
Why did I forget Giannis? I think Kawhi was second team. But that was your NBA, all NBA first team. Shout out to our boy Luka doing the Mavs proud. Shout out to your boy Giannis, who at least he's going to win something. Am I right, Davis?
He said he's ready. He's excited for next year, so we're going to win it next year.
Okay, whatever you want to tell you. Whatever you want to tell yourself.
Whoa. Hold up.
What?
Davis did not just say, hey, I'm excited. Davis said we're going to win it next year.
Yeah, I did, Alex. I can't be confident in my team. Oh, my Lord.
Okay, Davis.
Alex, you said the Mavs are going to get Giannis. You can say that. I can say we're going to win the championship.
I didn't say the Mavs are going to get Giannis. I said if the Mavs get Giannis.
Nope. We made a bet about this. We made a bet about this, Alex.
And I'm not going to lose anything if he doesn't go there, but you will lose, a section of your arm.
Right there.
Exactly. But all right, no, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying. If I was out here saying, hey, Washington's going to make the playoffs, you'd be on my neck.
That's completely and utterly dumb. At least we have precedent for it.
Before you guys,
what championship do you have that's precedent for it?
Making the playoffs, excuse you.
Okay, so before you guys get any more into this argument, I just want to mention second and third team because they deserve praise too. Chris Paul, Dame Leonard, Pascal Siakam, Kawhi Leonard, Jokic. That's all NBA second team. And then Ben Simmons, Russell Westbrook, Jason Tatum, Jimmy Butler, and Rudy Gobert was third team. Guys like, Steph, Kyrie, KD, they
Bradley Beal.
Oh my God.
Kyrie and KD didn't play enough to make it. KD didn't play at all.
Did you guys notice what happened with Chris Middleton and his votes?
Yeah, he had or he had more votes than Ben Simmons, and he didn't even make it on.
And it's because he was split between two position groups.
Yeah,
Oh,
shooting
my
guard. He's a small
Lord.
forward, but he technically does play both.
However, did y'all see that stat on Beal where the only other people to average 30 and 6 on that total shooting percentage were what? Jordan and Kobe and
I was about to say,
somebody else.
like, what, Jordan, Kobe, and, like, what, maybe LeBron or something like that?
Harden.
Harden,
Let me
yeah.
see.
When you
If
say
I can
30 and
find the
6, you
people.
mean 30 points, 6 assists?
Six assists.
On what percentage shooting? Like 40, 45? I assume somewhere around there.
Doesn't. Oh, they're only other two players to put up 30 points a game, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists per game were LeBron and Michael Jordan,
Sounds about right.
apparently.
And
And
Bradley Beal, apparently.
how on earth did he not make the All NBA team over Russell Westbrook?
You wanna know why? Bradley
Why?
Beal is not a household name.
It's true.
It's
No, that's true, but it
The
doesn't make it any
fact,
less stupid.
the fact that you bring up his name, and I had to think for like 3 seconds to remember where he's at, says a lot.
It's one of my
Washington.
favorites. I love Bradley.
Yeah, I know
Beal.
he's at Washington. I remember when Bradley Beal dropped 50 games in back-to-back games and still lost both of those games.
Yeah, that's because Washington's terrible outside of him and Rui Hachimura. But
And when they
Yeah.
get John Wall back, I don't know, man.
and John Wall takes one step off the bench and tears his Achilles again.
I mean, John Wall. I feel like I haven't seen John Wall in like 10 years.
It's because you probably haven't. I mean, really.
I feel like John Wall, when he comes back, he's gonna be that long distance relative that you see at the cookout, and you're like, bro, where you been at? And you find out he was in jail. You're like, oh.
The sad thing is that
Jared, I
and
feel
this
like that's
is-
not. I've never been to a cookout personally, so I'm not sure if I can relate to that.
You never been to a cookout? Are you
we
from
don't
Mobile?
we don't have like cookouts and stuff. Yeah, I mean like, but it's not like a family thing.
They have
Davis
shrimp.
had that whole argument between cookout and barbecue just to
It's
say he's
cook-
never been
it's
to
Oh,
one.
barbecue.
don't bring that back up. I don't want to get into a discussion
I won't.
about what barbecue is. Okay.
I won't.
We had that. Jacob put up the poll. He played himself. That's the end of the story.
I know.
Jack, actually, I'm not. I'm not gonna get started. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
What? Were you gonna
I was gonna
ask
ask
him?
Jack. I don't know if he heard it.
No. Let
Jack,
it burn.
he was there for that show, right? Was he?
No,
No.
I was in my bed and was angry.
Wait, let's hear his thoughts. He was angry about it. He
Oh
has an
my
opinion.
gosh.
My,
Y'all.
my thoughts on the issue are public. If you want to know them, you can find them on my Twitter.
Look,
There you go. There's
Jack.
a statement.
to be quite honest, I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret of mine.
Uh-oh.
I don't even remember my stance. I just know it was opposite of what the popular opinion was in the studio.
It was me and
Oh,
you
so you're
said
a
barbecue was an
contrarian.
acceptable phrase for having a group of people cooking, and Alex and Jacob were completely appalled by us and wanted us to throw us in jail, or into Alex's dorm. Excuse me.
That was a good one. Okay, NBA games tonight. I say games, NBA game tonight at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. It is game 2 of the Heat versus Celtics. Celtics are a 2.5 point favorite. I mean, we saw what happened in game 1, overtime thriller. Jimmy buckets, still getting buckets. The Celtics just running out of steam at the very end. Kemba needs to find a way to come back, I guess, and be the cardiac Kemba that we know.
What did he contribute for that game?
14
mean,
points or something like that.
Points wise, I think he scored 19, but he shot like 4 of 19 from the field, or
Let's
6 of
see.
19 from the field.
Kemba with a good 19 points, 6 of 19 from the field, 1 of 9 from 3.
Yeah,
Now, this is all added by the fact that he's also a terrible defender, so he really doesn't add much. Goran Dragic had 29 points. So, again, Kemba really, I mean, if he doesn't shoot on offense, he's essentially useless, but that's beside the point. Or
So
maybe
they-
not useless.
so there you go. If you want to know what Kemba did, he scored more points than he has been in the past couple of games.
That's true. But,
still
I mean,
that
it's still
shooting percentage.
the fact that, these games have been close, so he's clearly the difference. If he doesn't play as terribly, they win most of these close games that he's played so bad.
Look at the shooting percentage between the Heat and the Celtics. The Heat shot I believe 47%, while while the Celtics shot 35%. And the Celtics shot like the ball, I believe, like 20 more times than they did.
Jared, I'm afraid that's incorrect.
Wait, did I get that backwards?
No, you just got all of it wrong.
Uh, what do you mean?
I mean, the Heat shot 47%, and the Celtics shot 44%. The Celtics shot three more times than the Heat. Now,
I don't
the
remember all
Celtics did
that.
shoot 35% from three compared to the Heat 44.
Oh, so
But
I just got my numbers mixed up. That's all that was.
mm, I,
Jared was reading from the Soviet Union Bureau of Labor Statistics.
Yeah,
That's an honest mistake.
it
Y'all have that
happens, you
pulled
know.
up too?
it happens.
Yeah.
You could be honestly, you could be thinking of the Denver LA
I mean,
game.
it's just like that time where we found out that Kentucky and the Soviet Union had a series against each other, and Kentucky was up 3-2 on them, and they happened to beat them the last year the Soviet Union was a thing, so we contributed.
So Kentucky ended communism.
Which
Yeah,
ended communism first, Kentucky or Chernobyl? I'm gonna go with Kentucky.
I mean, I'm gonna say Kentucky. That's an American
Yeah.
story. We had Miracle on Ice, and now we have Kentucky taking down the Soviet Union.
They didn't make
How
that a
is that
movie.
not? How is that not taught in schools?
I mean,
I really gotta know.
I don't know. I mean, you guys had, Birmingham and Mobile public education.
Well, yeah, it sucked. They didn't teach us anything.
Oh, you ever had Booney's Smith Station education, all right? Did I ever tell you the story about the one time I had to go to math class, but in order to get to it, I had to walk around a hole that was in the second floor of the of the building?
Did anybody fall through it?
No,
wish.
they put a cone up though. I represent every day. All these stories you hear about Smith Station, I represent. Okay,
You don't
So-
represent well.
no, they don't. So I don't want to hear anything right now about
All right,
lack
all
of
right, that's good,
education.
that's good,
The
that's
things
good.
that I had to learn on my own. Are you kidding me?
How about let's all agree that Alabama sucks for public education?
Oh yes, definitely. But
Collectively, we're all in agreement that they didn't teach us anything important.
they
fair.
taught me. They taught me. Actually, I don't know what they taught me. Let's go back to what we were talking about. Game
Yeah.
2, Heat
Game 2.
Celtics. Who you got in this game? Davis, we'll start with you.
Heat
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Heat in 5.
6.
Actually, no, wait. Yeah, they're not gonna win in 5.
I think 7's a viable option too.
I'm gonna say 6 though because I really like.
Well-
Kimba's gonna show up at some point, but by that
No,
point it
he's
might
not.
be too late.
No, he's not.
I was more just talking about the game tonight because
Yeah, but
we
Heat
already gave our number of games picked.
Well,
a couple
Alex
days
just had to
ago.
mention Heat and 5 for some reason, so I had to check.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
I had to check them for you, Jared.
Jack, how about
Sorry.
you? Who do you have in tonight's game? Do the Heat keep it rolling or do the Celtics bounce back?
I think the Celtics get one back tonight. I do not think the Celtics win the series, but I do think they get one back tonight. Maybe learn from the mistakes they made in Game 1. I mean, the Heat played their hearts out in Game 1, so it'll be difficult to maintain that level of success. I think that this series, while it's still going to remain competitive unless the Heat can pull out a victory tonight. I really think this is a must-win game for the Celtics. They cannot get down 2-0 on a team that I think has much more talent than them on the floor.
Yeah, if the Celtics get down, if they lose tonight's game, they get down 2-0. I mean, I'm putting sweep on the table at that point because
Yeah.
they ain't no Nuggets. I don't think they're no
True.
Nuggets. Okay, but when you get down 2-0, I mean that's demoralizing because that means if we don't win Game 3, that series is pretty much over. I mean that's putting your back up against the wall immediately. They need Game 2. I'm still sticking with Celtics in 7 because I go down with the ship, right? But they
What I know-
should have won Game 1.
Yeah, they should have, and that was a missed opportunity. And I know from last year with the Bucks, I mean, once they got down, it was just, a matter of time at that point. They just seemed to have lost all will to continue, to be honest, during the middle of that series. So they get down tonight, they could be in trouble.
Why did you have to bring the Bucks like that?
I'm gonna act like you didn't, Alex.
I was talking about the Bucks versus the Celtics.
Oh, you're talking about against the Celtics?
Yes, when the
I,
Bucks
th-
beat
I thought
them.
I thought we were talking about the Bucks in general.
Why on earth would I? That should be ridiculous.
I mean,
That
I don't
was-
know.
The worst That would be ridiculous. I've ever heard.
What?
You would say that in a heartbeat, and you're acting like you wouldn't.
Why would I? That doesn't
Alex is
make any
playing
sense.
coy right now. Oh, I would never say that about Davis's team.
No, I mean, no. Okay, let me be clear. I would say the Bucks suck because they do, but
There you
I
go.
would not. I would not use the Bucks as some sort of senseless analogy. It's like, oh, the Celtics are going to be demoralized
Yeah,
just like
no,
the Bucks were.
you're-
Like
you're-
that doesn't make any
you're
sense.
I feel like you would do that.
Your senseless analogies usually around trying to compare NASCAR to something. I don't remember what you even said yesterday, but it made my blood boil about NASCAR.
All right.
and then when I do a quiz about what track they're going to next, I know you looked it up. I saw it in your eyes.
Yeah, I did, Jared.
Oh, it's that one.
Oh,
Let me
Yeah,
guess.
Bristol.
It's Bristol. It just happens to be Bristol.
It is Bristol.
Is that it for the NBA? Oh, no, that's not it for the NBA. We still got one more thing. The Clippers are falling apart in front of everybody's eyes right now. I mean,
It's hilarious.
there are reports coming out about certain players saying things about the locker room. I believe there was in the game during a timeout. I believe it was between PG-13 and Harrell, I believe, where they got into a little bit of an argument, and
Okay.
I'm trying to find the exact quote about
Montrez got on, or PG got on, or Montrez got on PG for throwing a bad pass, and then PG started yelling at him in the huddle.
and then Montrez was just like, you can never be wrong, PG, or something like that. Just a very condescending thing to say. He ain't wrong, but
There's a lot. I mean, I think the biggest concern to me was Paul George just like deflecting, saying, "Oh, it wasn't a win a championship this year team," and I'm like, "What do you mean? You're in your 30s. You're clearly not getting any better." So I'm not really sure what exactly that was supposed to mean when he said that. So that's great.
I don't know.
I mean,
Hey, Davis, you want to look at something fun?
Yeah.
So, because I have ESPN Plus, so I can look at some of these cool articles that they put out.
No need to flex.
ESPN put out an article, and here's the title. It said, "Chasing Giannis Antetokounmpo: How 11 teams can land the MVP."
Oh my god, that's not fun. That's just annoying.
Davis, look.
He literally has said he's staying.
Okay, Davis, I want you to be objective, okay?
I am being objective.
No,
I'm
no,
using to quote
no.
himself.
No,
Oh
no,
my
not
God.
that, not that. I want to ask you one question, okay? You love the Bucks, but you also love Giannis. That much is clear. He's on your phone case, yada yada yada. All that nonsense.
Wow,
Jersey.
Chris Middleton makes $33 million next year.
Yeah. We get into
Jeez.
that in 1 second.
No,
But
no.
Davis,
Shout out to my boy Chris Middleton. He's getting the bank.
That's
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
His cash money. Crash.
absolutely, absolutely. But Davis, as just a fan of Giannis, is it not in his best interest
No.
to leave?
No, he has a good team around him. He can win with Milwaukee.
But that's not what the best. A good team is not the best interest.
He's literally gonna get the supermax in Milwaukee. He has a family here. He loves it here, and he has the best team here. Best team. He has a good team here, so it is not in his best interest to go run away and join the Lakers or the Warriors.
I mean, the Warriors would
No.
probably be a better team,
No.
but no, they wouldn't.
Cause then he'd be third fiddle.
But he'd win a championship.
I don't know. You don't know. You don't know that's true or not. You can't say that for sure.
I mean, he took the eventual. What is it? They took the eventual champion Raptors 6 game with Chris Middleton as his backup.
He'd most likely be playing center on that team.
Can I mention the teams that ESPN says are in the running for Giannis?
Can I guess?
I'm just
Can I guess
saying,
them?
with his skill
I
set,
mean, there
playing
are
center is
11
a
of
good
them. You want to
fit.
try to guess half the NBA?
I can guess them all. I can guess them. Heat, Raptors,
Warriors,
Warriors.
Lakers, Clippers.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you. It's not like I was guessing them. Mavs, Lakers.
Clippers.
Jared is Clippers one.
So many teams to go through. No, they're not.
Ha, Alex.
Wow.
How many? I got 6 left.
I don't know. I wasn't really keeping up. I was just kind of just scrolling through.
Whatever. I'm
Jared?
not gonna guess.
I mean, the teams that you're missing are, you missed America's team, The Knicks.
Oh
Because
my god!
The Knicks, are projected to land everybody that comes into free agency.
And have they landed Julius Randle instead of KD last year?
The Pelicans
Oh,
are on there.
what?
They have cap space.
That'd be a terrible pickup for
That's
them.
true, but they have cap space. That's why.
Here's something. Here's a weird one. Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City.
The 76ers.
Good for them.
And probably the most fun one on this list, I believe, Giannis teaming up with Dame Time.
I almost said the Trailblazers. I saw a projected trade from one of the Bucks page off. I was like, for CJ, another player, and then like 3 first-round picks for Giannis or something like that. Or I saw one to the Nuggets. It was MPJ, Bobo, I think like Monte Morris, and a few first-round picks.
I mean, look.
I wouldn't take them.
I mean, you don't trade away Giannis. I get that. But if I feel like Giannis is that kind of guy. This is hypothetical. I think this is a 0% chance of happening, okay? Giannis is the type of guy, if he is going to leave, he's going to say, hey, I want you to get something from me.
Trade me, 100% is, yeah.
Trade me to this team so you get something. So if he does say, you know what, I'm out, I'm going to leave, then you got to take those, what I assume will be 18 first-round draft picks that somebody's going to give you. Jacob, how you doing this morning? Yeah.
Oh, what's up?
Watching some golf, enjoying the U.S. Open. But
do you have to talk quiet when you're watching golf too?
Mainly because I'm in my living room and people are asleep. So honestly,
okay,
that's the reason.
Watching golf here.
Jacob, just give us, cause I'm not knowledgeable in golf. Okay, my golf experience is literally playing Wii Sports. The one time I went to Top Golf and then playing putt putt. That's pretty much it. And
Wow.
I pretty much only won once out of those 3. So
Which one was that?
You don't want to know. So give me what's going on at the U.S. Open.
Well, Tiger Woods, he's obviously the guy everyone cares about. He's +1. He's the guy I care about. But everyone kind of thought this course was going to play impossible. But right now there's an amateur that's -3 through 8. But he might make a triple bogey. He's made 3 birdies in a row on holes 6 through 8. Rory McIlroy's -2, which is kind of scary because before he gets on, it might be over for everyone else. But we've got 15 guys under par, which is very unexpected because this week the rough has been not cut at all. It's like a foot tall. And there's every week at the U.S. Open, we get this stupid videos of someone throwing a golf ball on the green and it rolling for 50 feet for half a minute. But obviously isn't affecting a lot of these guys. So
I'm going to assume that I understood every part of that.
Well,
it really is not that complicated.
Yeah, it's not that difficult.
I mean, golf goes over my head like hockey does.
Dude,
Well,
you literally just have to watch it.
No, it's boring. I'm sorry.
Jacob's going to come through the screen and attack you.
But you still have your stupid Masters take that they put fans in the woods, not spectators.
It's true. They put fans in the woods. That way Tiger Woods could win and they could rake in all the money that came with it.
What?
And you best believe, yes, Davis, believe.
I don't understand what fans in the woods having to do with Tiger Woods winning.
Okay, so let's go back to the Masters, okay? So I can't remember who was the other guy that Tiger Woods was pretty much competing with down
Francisco Molinari and Brooks Koepka.
So pretty much, I don't remember which one of the two kept just.
It was Molinari.
Okay, so Molinari, homeboy was doing great, but toward the end of the Masters, for some odd reason, he just kept hitting it into roughs and hazards. It looked like he lost. It looked like he lost his mojo. But Tiger Woods, he just kept going like it was nothing. So my theory is that there was big industrial fans they put in the woods.
Oh, okay? Fans.
Yes, fans.
I thought you were talking about woo fans. I was like, that doesn't make sense.
Big industrial fans in the woods. And they turned it on when the other guys were going, but turned it off for Tiger Woods. So that way, they would mess up and he wouldn't. And that's why Tiger Woods won.
So
Because they had to cash in on Tiger Woods winning the Masters. They needed the ratings, they needed the revenue, they needed it all.
that's
I'm
true. If
convinced.
there's any sport that would rig it for their star, I feel like it would be them
How?
just because
Not the
I
NBA.
don't know.
How is
Jacob
golf?
is gonna
No.
Jacob
How
is gonna
golf?
rip y'all in.
Please.
No,
Please
Jacob,
explain how
like
golf
this
is
is
rigged.
this is entirely a joke because obviously they did not put fans, and there's really no way you can rig golf truly. But I mean, why not? I mean, the NBA
Wait,
obviously
why-
the
Why
top
couldn't
one.
they put fans though?
Well,
Big industrial fans.
Yeah.
David,
BAF.
see, there's a
Why
little
could
thing called, you
BAF
probably
and Woods
hear them.
Alex?
What?
Why you couldn't?
Lit-
No, they add sound to it. The
Literally-
big fan companies add sound to it. I feel
It's
like.
global
Literally,
warming.
on the other side of that hole is another golf course that you can see through the woods.
These are
They
these
could've-
are
they
really
could've
good
broken
fans.
into the trees.
Debunked.
Look,
Jared is
it's-
debunked.
it's either big fans. It's either big fans or global warming. So take your pick. Which road you want me to go down?
I mean, it's probably global
Neither.
warming.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that I didn't have golf talk on the show, but that does it for that.
My the pick with golf is that they list people from the United Kingdom by what part of it they're from. Like Rory has the Northern Irish flag next to his name.
Oh, so
Well, what's wrong with that?
I guess the
Get off your
kingdoms. I
high
guess.
horse. You're from England. Shut up.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's necessarily a high horse issue.
So let's go ahead and turn to Pick'em, because that's what we're going to close out the show with. Just an update on the standings. We're doing NFL Pick'em first. I'm upset because for some odd reason Alex picked 12 out of 16 games correct.
Woo!
He's 12-4. Everybody else went 9-7. And then I somehow ended up in
Alex,
last place.
Why is Alex cackling like a witch in there?
Probably because he is a
mean,
witch.
That's
Everyone
actually
else-
not me, Davis. That's just another prisoner here at Guantanamo, I swear.
Oh, so now he admits now we got to retire that joke because Alex acknowledges now.
Exactly.
Everyone else went Tennessee Titans mode and went 9-7.
So that is the current NFL Pick'em standings as we get ready for this week. It should be a lot better this week because we actually know what's going on with each team instead of, not knowing what's going on. Nobody expected Washington to score 27 unanswered points against the Eagles, but they did.
That's true.
And now we have a better understanding of what's going on.
I mean, they're still
Starting
going to
with
lose to the Cardinals by 40, but that's besides the point.
starting with tonight's game, Browns Bengals. That game is in Cleveland. I know I sent you guys the Pick'em spreadsheet, so I'm just gonna go down that list and start from there.
I'll pick them as I go.
So
Can't remember who I picked already.
I guess I'll start first. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Bengals. I got to make sure that Joe Burrow gets his first win before the Browns get their win. So
I
that's my
second
only
that
reason.
pick.
Yeah, I'm picking the Bengals as well.
Pick the Browns, Jacob. You know you want to.
I do.
Bengals, not because I think they can win. I'm picking the Bengals because
I'm gonna assume that I heard all of that.
I heard Bengals.
Jack,
Good job,
short one.
Jack.
I heard Bengals. I'm going with Bengals too. Even though I kind of want to pick the Browns, Bengals are going to get it done.
Up next, Colts Vikings. The only reason why this game's even second on the list is because they're my ESPN favorite, and I get depressed every time I see it now. I'm gonna go against the grain. I'm picking the Vikings. I don't trust the Colts right now.
Neither do I. Vikings.
Dalvin Cook, going to be too much.
Yep.
So we all pick the Vikings.
Yeah, I guess it's unanimous.
Yes.
Here
If
we
we
go.
all pick the same thing, we can either all go 0-16 or 16-0.
Here we go. Everybody's favorite quarterback, Daniel Jones, taking on Mitch Trubisky and the Bears.
Money making Mitch.
That's not his nickname.
That is a nickname.
Not the one I'm thinking of.
That's fair.
the Bears have proved to me that they can win a game, which is a lot more than I think the Giants can accomplish right now. So I'll take the Bears.
This is a very good point.
I mean, the fact that look, Saquon had how many rushing yards? 6,
7,
7. Oh, thank God, I was one off.
I
Uh,
think.
if they did it against the Steelers, I can't imagine the Bears are that much worse than the Steelers when it comes to defense, if not on the same level. That Giants offensive line is downright horrible. So give me the Bears.
Yeah.
It's
Also
it's
Bears.
Darius Slayton time. Giants.
Wow.
Me and
No,
Jacob are in
look,
agreement.
make no mistake about it. I think Slayton's going to put up big numbers when the Giants are, getting crunch
All right.
time touchdowns.
In reality, I think it's because Saquon Barkley. I mean,
Here
he
we
had
go.
a trash game Monday night, and I think he's going to bounce back.
I'm gonna say it. Mark your calendar. What's today? The 17th.
Yep.
Yes.
Thursday, September 17th, 2020, at 10:03 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm gonna say it. Darius Slayton will be a Pro Bowl selection this year.
Okay.
He'll have the numbers. I mean, Daniel Jones doesn't really throw to anybody else comparatively.
Yeah, I mean Sterling Shepard, Evan Ingram, I would say, are the only guys on that team that are
Yeah.
competing for his targets.
He'll be a
And
Pro
he's such a
Bowl
deep threat.
selection. And
He'll certainly have the numbers,
Will
but
be
I think
put
if the
out.
Giants are really bad, it'll be tough for him to get in. It'll be like
well, no, I hate
Devin
to break it
Booker.
to you, but they're not gonna be good.
No, if
No, I
they're
mean,
really
okay.
bad, they're going to be throwing a lot because they're going to be playing from behind.
I'm just saying, guys that are put up big numbers on bad teams, it's a bit more difficult for them to get in. I think he can put up great numbers. I just think if they're like 2-14, it
So
would be difficult.
So what I'm hearing is Darius Slayton is Devin Booker.
Yes, could be. I'm saying
But-
the situation would be
No,
similar.
he is what
So
I'm hearing.
what you're saying is, in order for the Giants to do anything, they got to go into a bubble where they win
Yes.
like 6, 7 straight and just
Yes.
call it a day.
Yes.
That's not gonna happen.
Or get Charles Barkley. Maybe they can get some going there.
Up next is America's team versus America's disappointment. It's the Cowboys and the Falcons.
This one's tough.
This
I
one
chose
is tough.
Cowboys.
Is it tough?
I think, yeah, good point. Cowboys lost a
Cowboys.
close one to the Rams, but
Yeah, Cowboys.
I mean, the Falcons ran into a buzzsaw that was Seattle, and their offense played great.
Cowboys lost a very winnable game by some questionable coaching decisions by Mike McCarthy. I don't think he will repeat those on Sunday, and I think the Falcons probably overperformed against a relatively soft Seahawks secondary on Sunday. So
That's a good point.
I think the boys got this one on lock. They're playing mad after the Jalen Ramsey debacle, despite that not really being the reason they lost.
I mean, give credit to the Falcons. Even when they've been bad, their offense hasn't been terrible. The offense has still been productive. It's the other side of the ball that's been a problem.
Yeah, what is it?
It's
Jack?
just a matter of how many steps ahead Amari Cooper is going to be of the Falcons secondary, though.
That's true. What is it that Jack
Yeah.
said on Tuesday? He said the Falcons lost in typical Falcons fashion, scoring a lot and losing by a lot, or throwing for a lot. I mean, but still,
Definitely.
I mean, yeah, it is their amount.
U.S.
Then-
Open update.
Oh.
Brandon Wu just hit a cold shank.
That's
I tell
tough.
you, those fans.
It looked like a shot we would hit.
Wait, Jared. How about instead of fans?
Oh, this time would be global warming. I'll go with global warming.
No, they took control of the
Y'all.
weather and they control the wind.
Yeah, that's what I said. Global warming.
Okay.
No,
This
not
is-
global warming, but that the PGA took control of the weather. They
Yeah.
have a weather
No,
machine.
that's what I said. Global warming. I'm now running with the thought that the PGA runs a network that causes global
They
warming.
started the climate change.
Yes.
Oh my
They're
gosh!
using the secret weather satellites.
Yeah. Where's the U.S. Open at? Where did they play at again?
Wingfoot Golf Club in New York.
They play at different spots, if I'm not mistaken. right?
Yeah, every year it's different.
Here we go. Last week's.
Hard.
Wait, what now?
Tiger Woods says Wingfoot's hard to play at.
Oh, I mean it is.
Uh-oh.
He's
Last week's most disappointing ending in the Lions versus the Packers.
Is that last week's most disappointing ending?
I mean, for us, we thought it was funny because of who dropped it, but for Lions fans and people with Swift on their fantasy teams, it was probably very disappointing.
I'm sorry, who are the Lions playing?
The Packers.
Packers.
So they're gonna lose,
Mhm.
is what I'm saying.
Yeah, Packers by 40.
Go Pack, go.
Packers.
in a battle for the top of the AFC South. The Jaguars and the Titans square off in Nashville.
I'm thinking last week it was more about the Colts than it was the Jaguars.
Yeah.
I believe in Minshew, but not that much. Titans by 20.
This is a crazy one because it's the Jaguars who won a game against the Colts, who are a decent team, against the Titans who won a game against the Broncos, but not in a very convincing fashion.
That's true, but remember, Gostowski missed 3 field goals. He left 9 points
Yeah,
on the
and
board.
he's still kicking for them. So what does that mean for this game?
I mean, that could just be one bad game.
He left 10 points off the board, but he missed an extra point, too.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot that he did that as well. So, I mean, again, they could have won, 27-13 instead of what they had?
You gotta remind me what happened the last time the Jags played in Nashville when Derrick Henry ended 3 man's lives on one play.
That is true.
And
How does it
Derrick Henry probably is hungry because he didn't
He
have
wants to give me points for my fantasy team, is what?
yeah he didn't have a I guess as big as a game as
Yeah.
he probably wanted. So he's probably ready to eat. I'll go Titans.
I'll go Titans as well, but this Minshew Mania thing, it's a meme, but it's also kind of real because Minshew at random moments shows up and just plays out of his mind. So it could be, you could do it again. I don't know if he will, but I'm still taking Titans.
My default pick to be in the AFC Championship game, the Buffalo Bills playing the Miami Dolphins.
Bills.
Bills.
Josh Allen. Josh Allen's the
Overrated.
man. My.
No, he's not.
Josh Allen is the man, but the Dolphins are also terrible.
I will say this is the first week that Tua was not mentioned on the injury report, which means
He's not going to
assumingly-
start.
I know that.
When they're down 28, then he will be playing.
Which means he should be fully healed from his surgery.
And they're going to play him against the best defense in the conference. That's a good plan.
The catalyzing matchup here of the Bills' defense and Fitzception does not lend itself well to any kind of Dolphin success.
I say that we get Tua by week.
5.
I was gonna say 5.
Boom.
That seems about
I
right.
don't know if we get to it this year.
Depends on the state of Miami.
I really think they're scared of using him and
There's no reason
breaking
to.
him.
We can't compete this year.
And
Yeah.
I do want to say
I'm a
that
Jack.
I think per Vegas odds, Adam Gase became the most likely coach to be fired first this season. So there's that going
Good.
for him.
He's the Jets coach, Jared.
Is he? Oh yeah, that's right. He
Yeah.
got fired from Miami. Well,
Yeah.
that is true. Oh, is it Brian Flores is in Miami.
Brian
now.
Flores is not going to get
Yeah.
fired.
I saw Jets
Yeah, they're-
next. That's probably why I thought of
Adam Gase.
Adam Gase.
What in the world?
He's so bad.
So, speaking of Adam Gase, 49ers, Jets. I mean, we're picking 49ers, right?
Yeah, just skip it. I think we're all picking the Niners.
Jacob, what did Tiger Woods just do?
He was in the rough and hit one 40 yards, 10 feet off the ground maybe.
They forgot to turn
If
the fan
that.
off. It's
Yeah.
tough.
Tiger gonna tiger.
No.
Don't give me that.
Rams, Eagles. That game in Philly.
I chose the Rams.
The Eagles still don't have an offensive line.
Is it
If
possible
homeboy-
for the Eagles to bounce back after last week?
Is Jack Driscoll still starting?
He's hurt.
Oh, God. That's even worse.
If Homeboy's going to get sacked 8 times by the Washington football team, just imagine what Aaron Donald's going to do to him.
Hey, we have a good defensive front, somewhat. Maybe
You don't have Aaron
but-
Donald.
No, we don't.
Alex.
And I was gonna bring up that point because,
I really thought Al was going to say, yeah, we don't have Aaron Donald.
We have Chase Young.
And I was going to punch him
want-
through the monitor.
I wasn't gonna say that. What I was gonna say is the Eagles are missing all their offensive linemen except for Jason Kelsey, their starting center, and even he got dominated last week by a bunch of rookies, including not rookie but second-year player Deron Payne. So yeah, Aaron Donald's gonna single-handedly kill Carson Wentz, but
Oh, no.
Right.
Aaron Donald's going to get in the backfield and just snap his leg. Like a Mortal Kombat fatality.
be like J.J. Watt to Alex Smith. No, that's gonna be tough.
Broncos, Steelers. This game is in Pittsburgh. I'm going to go with the Steelers.
Same.
Who are the Steelers playing?
Broncos.
Broncos.
I think I'm picking the Broncos.
What about you? You had to think about that.
I like the Broncos.
All right, here's a game that at least 3/5 of this group chat is ready for. Panthers, Buccaneers. All right, here it is. I need the takes. What's happening in this game?
The Buccaneers are gonna win.
Wow. Well,
That's correct, but Tom Brady will also throw 2 interceptions
That's true.
again.
Jack, I
I
know you
think-
want to.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do it. I think the Panthers are gonna win, and here's why. I don't know. They're gonna sack Tom Brady, maybe. That's my
Is
That's
Is
it.
Joe
That's
Brady
so
going to
easy.
figure out how to use Christian McCaffrey correctly?
I hope so. I think Joe Brady probably learned his lesson. Put the best player on the field. They made that mistake last year against these very same Buccaneers, not giving the ball to
Week 2.
Yeah, week 2
Adam.
Thursday night game.
PTSD
Not giving the ball
flashbacks.
to Christian McCaffrey. So I think they learned their lesson. I think if the Panthers can control the ball, keep the score relatively low scoring, and just let the Bucs do their Bucs thing, get in their own way like they did on special teams last Sunday, I think the Panthers have a chance in this one. They played a little ahead of themselves last Sunday, and I think if they can keep that success up, they'll be able to maybe sneak one here and get the hot takes going about if Tom Brady's washed.
I think, honestly, this may seem crazy, but this may be the highest scoring game of the weekend. I feel like it can easily. I think it can easily turn to a shootout. I mean, give the Panthers credit with Teddy Bridgewater. They scored how many points? 30 opening
30.
weekend. I mean, I don't think a lot of us
Against the
expected that.
Raiders. No, not at all.
Yeah, fair. Was against the Raiders.
I don't even know who's on the Bucs defense.
Jamel Dean. I got that.
Carlson Davis.
Yeah,
I
there's
was
two
about to say,
Auburn players.
they have essentially an Auburn defensive backfield.
They do.
They had a lot of Auburn players for
Yeah.
a while. I'm going to go with the Buccaneers. I think the Panthers will come up just short. The Panthers will lose in a fashion that'll be soul-crushing for a lot of Panthers fans. I'll say that.
Well, are we gonna have another 4th and inches that
It'll be a
hand to
fourth
the fullback?
and goal, and it'll go out of bounds and not touch the
Oh, we're gonna run
pylon.
Wildcat and run McCaffrey to the outside.
Here's a game that at least one of us is interested in. Washington
Yep.
and Arizona.
Yeah, this one's tough because the Cardinals really don't have an offensive line, but they also have probably one of the better scrambling quarterbacks in football, so that's a difficult.
I mean, also just beat the NFC champions.
That's also that. I'm getting to that. So it's all progression.
He's trying to soften up the blow of when he picks Washington again.
Yeah, no. I'm not picking. Well, first of all, pick Washington. I was right last week.
Alex, be loyal to your team, man.
I mean, I am low, but I'm still picking the Cardinals.
As Davis just picked the Buccaneers.
As you pick the Buccaneers as well.
I didn't say to stay loyal. We're giving objective takes.
To
on
be
this
fair,
show.
I think with Alex picking the Cardinals, we all picked against our teams this week. That says a
Yeah.
lot.
I mean, there's
Good
people
check.
saying that Washington's going to lose by 30. I think it'll be close because, again, I think their defense is very, very good. But I still think that they just are not going to be able to produce, and Kyler Murray's going to, pull something out of a hat at the end of the game. So
And probably, I don't know if this will be technically the game of the week. The last 3 games of kind of the night, or kind of that late afternoon night, are pretty good. First one up, Chiefs 49ers.
they're playing the Chargers, Jared.
Wait, did I get that wrong?
Yes.
Did I write that down incorrectly?
Yes.
Oh no.
Is that on the Google
Wait.
form, Jared?
Yes, it's on the Google form.
It is on the go. Oh yeah,
Because the 49ers are playing the Jets, and we picked them
the
against
Chiefs
the
are
Jets.
the Chiefs are playing the Chargers, which is still an interesting game. But I think I forgot to take the 49ers off of this part right here.
Yeah,
Jared's 2 for 2 on messing up Google forms.
That's true.
that's awkward.
Well,
Oh, wait, did everybody else just pick the Cardinals? Is that like why nobody said anything?
pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right,
I
yeah,
figured
we're
so. I
picking
just wanted to
Cardinals.
check. I figured so.
This game, Chiefs Chargers.
Chiefs.
Jeez.
Chiefs.
Tyrod Taylor looked bad.
Pat Mahomes is my starting quarterback, so he better do well.
Ravens, Texans.
Ravens. Texans got picked apart by the Chiefs. I mean, Andy Reid couldn't even see his play sheet, and they still scored 31 straight. So
As long as
Yeah,
Deshaun Watson does good, I'm cool with the Ravens.
The Texans
yesterday, go ahead.
The Texans have the drop C's. They're not going to be able to hold on to this one, I think.
Yesterday I said the Ravens were my Super Bowl team, so I'm going to stick with them.
I mean, hey, they
He's
can make the
being
Super Bowl
loyal.
going 15-1. You know, they can lose a game here and there.
That's true.
Let's not
Don't-
forget the
don't-
9-7 Giants.
Don't talk to him about 15-1 Super Bowl teams, okay?
Oh, I'm sorry,
Hey, that didn't even cross my mind, but thanks, Jared.
Jacob. I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness, I feel so bad.
I mean,
now.
apologize to the other three of us.
He doesn't feel bad. He made so
Yeah,
much jokes after it.
Yeah, I don't feel bad at all. I mean, yeah.
Here's a Super Bowl rematch. Patriots, Seahawks. This time, Cam is leading the charge.
Cam's not getting it done this week.
Seahawks.
Yes, no, it's Seahawks. That Patriots team did not look the same against Miami. Granted, it could be because no preseason, but still.
They look decent, but like they looked like they relied on Cam running ability a bit too much, which, you know, Miami was hapless out there trying to stop it, but the Seahawks have a better defense, are coached better, and of course have Russell Wilson to run the scout team against essentially. So they'll be fine.
And finally, Saints, Raiders.
Saints by a lot.
Yeah,
The Raiders' defense is so bad that the Saints are without Michael Thomas, I believe, but I don't think that matters.
yeah.
It didn't matter last week.
I mean, yeah, the Panthers didn't even use Christian McCaffrey correctly, as y'all said, and they still were able to score, what, 30 on the Raiders? So Saints are going to drop 50.
All right, and that pretty much does it for Pick'em. And I fixed the Google form just now.
Well, I already made all my picks, so I hope it better still work.
Oh, it should. All right, let's quickly move on to the college football landscape. College football, the current Pick'em standings is pretty close. Shout out to Jack. He's leading the charge right now at 6-4. So congratulations, Jack. I
picked UAB. Sad.
That's tough.
I still remember last year where we pitted ourselves against the Plainsmen, and I'm not gonna lie, you kind of drug us down a little bit. So
That's okay, because Herb went 10-0.
yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the first game of the week. It is number 19 Louisiana and Georgia State.
Go Raging Cajuns.
Raging Cajuns.
Yep.
We're
Is this
starting.
game at
against
Georgia State
them.
or Louisiana?
It should be Georgia State.
Yeah.
On all of these forms, the bottom team is just like how it was on ESPN, so they're the home team. So this game is in Georgia State. Or,
I think Georgia State.
Or
Upset.
what is it? What Turner Field? That's what they
Old
play
Turner
at these
Field.
days? Yeah.
Georgia State Stadium.
Disgusting.
Bad.
Here's a great opening weekend matchup: Baylor and Houston.
Are you sure they're playing? Oh wait, yeah. It's just that my thing says that their game against Memphis is postponed, but then okay, that's my.
I think what ended up happening was Memphis Houston postponed because of Memphis outbreak, and Houston replaced it with Baylor.
Okay, all right.
So yeah, no, a lot of things can be confusing because I assume I messed up another Google form.
You did because Baylor's actually the home team.
Update on the Georgia State Stadium. It has a brand now. Center Park Stadium.
Ew.
Center Park.
I don't know what that is.
Lame Park.
Sounds pretty boring.
Baylor and
Oh, it's a
Houston.
credit union.
Even more boring.
Baylor and Houston.
Baylor doesn't have this first game without their new head coach.
That's true. They are at home though.
I'll go Baylor.
Houston was a mess last year.
So who are we picking?
No, I already said Baylor.
Oh.
Baylor.
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 As long as they don't get up 28-3, I'm picking Baylor.
UCF, number 14 UCF, and Georgia Tech.
Ooh. I'll say Wreckham Tech on this one.
Really?
He's going
UCF
on
has
Georgia Tech.
UCF has McKenzie Milton back at quarterback, I think, after
Is
all
he?
of his injury problems.
Is he back?
I'm not
I
sure.
thought he
about that.
returned. I thought he returned after all of his injuries.
I mean,
All I know is
I know he's on the
UCF
team.
All I know is UCF had like 8 to 10 players opt out. Georgia Tech.
They did?
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you
I
heard it
thought he
here
was
first.
returning.
Ramblin' Wreck from Georgia Tech. I'll pick him. Davis.
I think I'm.
UCF a 1-touchdown favorite, by the way.
I'm really not
Actually-
sure.
Go ahead, Dennis.
What were you saying about McKenzie Milton?
He's actually not playing, so never mind. I'm not picking him.
Okay, then Georgia Tech. I chose UCF on the form, but I'm going Georgia Tech now.
Is he
Fair.
active at least? Is he like participating in practices
He's
and
working
stuff
his
like
way.
that?
He's working his way back. It's essentially the Alex Smith situation. He's just working his way back, but he's still not ready to play. Just it's going to take him a long time. Maybe more like Bridgewater, actually.
Yeah.
And
It's
it
gonna
was their
take a while.
backup. It was their other quarterback that opted out. Backup quarterback, Terry Matt Jr.
And he wasn't even that good. That's tough. Okay. Well, yeah. Tech.
Number 23, App State against Marshall.
This one is difficult.
Marshall.
I'm going with App State.
App State struggled last week. Marshall has the freshman quarterback that went off. I don't know.
I think Deniers got this one. I'll take App State.
I'll take Marshall. Why not?
Wake Forest and NC State. Obviously, Wake Forest got embarrassed just last week versus Clemson. And NC State just looking to get the ball rolling.
That's true. Wake didn't look terrible.
How many points they scored? 6?
Yeah.
It was 37-13.
Okay.
They've been embarrassed much worse than that to Clemson.
I mean, that is true. I'll give them that.
And they got practice, which most teams clearly don't have, citing the Navy game, of course. But
I'm going NC State, by the way.
So I went. Yeah, Jared.
I'm going with Wake.
we'll go Wake. Yeah, why not?
I'm going to go Wake because I don't know a ton about NC State football this year. I do know they beat them like 44-10 last year. So, it's hard to get that kind of turnaround.
It's a new year.
All right, 5 more games, and we got 5 minutes to go. Boston College and Duke.
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 Dude, they look decent against Notre Dame.
Sure.
I think Duke defense is going to prevail. Look for a low-scoring game there.
Navy, the midshipmen, looking
Tulane.
Tulane by a mile.
All right. Troy in Middle Tennessee.
Oh my! What?
Look, you start running out of games eventually, okay?
Let's go
don't even-
Trojans.
Hey,
I'm
that's
going
an
Troy.
Alabama team. Come on.
Yeah, no, Troy. Middle Tennessee lost to Army by 40. So
Yeah.
Army's good, but still.
I thought that game would be decent in week
Same.
1. I was wrong.
We could have an opportunity to have 3 to 4 ranked teams from the state of Alabama with UAB
Yeah.
and Troy. Come on now. We got to hype up the state.
Why are we talking trash about the Fun Belt?
Yeah, come on.
That's what
I'm not
wondering.
talking trash about the Fun Belt. I completely forgot that both teams had already played. I forgot that Middle Tennessee played Army, so I was like, oh great, 2 teams I know nothing about. But now I have that for reference.
Up next, who I'm dubbing America's team, Texas State
Texas
and
State.
UL Monroe. Texas State
That game was
they play
awesome.
fun games, so I'm excited
They
for
do.
Texas State.
It's that Fun Belt swag they got. I'm going with Texas State because, like you said, America's team.
America's team.
Yeah.
Cats.
Davis.
Texas State.
And finally, the extra point game of the week. It is the only ranked versus ranked matchup. Number 17, the U of Miami, taking on number 18, Louisville, in an ACC clash.
I'm going to go with Miami because I think Derek King's going to be really good for several weeks, and then kind of just they're going to fall apart.
Oh, so like typical
But Miami,
fashion.
Miami at the beginning of the season is going to be super good, and then just crash and burn.
Who did Louisville play last
Yeah.
week? They played like
Western Kentucky.
Western Kentucky? Okay. I was about to say Arkansas State, but they played Kansas
I mean,
State.
I don't know about y'all, but that Miami offense, I mean, with Rhett Lashley behind the wheel, it was looking very efficient. I mean,
Alex,
they marched
every
down the
time you
field.
bring up that Rhett Lashley is the offensive coordinator for Miami, you're acting like I should be like excited about that. I'm not.
I mean, okay, the greatest Auburn team probably in the last 7 years, he was the offensive coordinator. Whether or not you say Gus was the man in
Probably.
charge. I mean, some people say the 2017 team because of the defense, but that's all up for debate. That's why I didn't want to, say completely. But I mean, he was the offensive coordinator. Sure, Gus was in charge, but I mean, he was there, and once he left, the offense did kind of take a nosedive.
He was the reason Nick Marshall improved his passing ability.
Also that. And last week they had 300 rushing yards or something like that. It was a ridiculous number.
Yeah, Derek King balled out.
I'll go
Let's
Miami,
see.
but I'm not happy about it.
They had 478 yards and 337 on the ground. Come on, man.
Well, that is
Always
all the
Miami.
picks that we have on today's show. And we got done just in time for Jacob and Jack to go to class. So thank you, both of you guys, for joining me on the show today. A lot of fun.
Thanks for having us.
So you guys have a wonderful day. Alex, Davis, thank you for joining me on the program as well. It's always a lot of fun. And that does it for the week for us. So we'll be back on Monday for the show.
Lightning Islanders tonight.
Oh yeah, we forgot about hockey.
Don't forget it.
Oops.
The New Jersey Devils are the only team to ever come back from down 3-1 in the Eastern Conference Finals, and they won the cup. So look out for those Islanders.
Well, what is it? Game 6, Tampa Bay leads 3-2, correct?
Yes, sir. Tonight at 7 p.m.
So make sure you root on the Islanders because we need a game
They need
7.
Jokic on the ice.
We need
Please
Game
don't.
7.
Come back.
All right. I'll talk to you guys later.
See
All
ya.
right.
Have a good
For
one.
Jacob Hillman, Jack Hart, and Davis Carroll and Alex Houston, I'm Jared Dillon saying thank you for joining us at Extra Point here on WEGL 911 and WEGL FM.